Close your eyes for a moment and listen, not to the world outside, but to the voice within. That voice, the one speaking to you even now, is the architect of your reality. Every word it utters is a blueprint, shaping your future moment by moment. And so I ask you, how do you speak to yourself? Do you declare victory, or do you whisper defeat? Do you claim abundance, or do you murmur lack? The unseen force that governs this world responds not to effort, but to belief. Belief expressed through the words you repeat, the emotions you feel, and the certainty with which you declare them. From this moment forward, let your inner voice speak only of the finished result. Speak to yourself as if your wish has already materialized. Say, do not speak of waiting, for waiting only creates more wait. Do not speak of trying, for trying acknowledges struggle. Instead, declare. And as you say these words, feel the truth behind them. Let them sink into the depths of your being until they are the only reality you know. For what you persistently affirm with feeling must be made manifest. It is law. The world is but a mirror, reflecting your innermost thoughts and beliefs. Speak to yourself as one who already has everything, and soon the world will bow to your conviction. And speak as the master of your destiny. The words you speak to yourself hold immense power, more than you may realize. Every thought, every phrase you whisper in the quiet moments of your mind acts as a seed planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. And like any seed, these words will take root, grow, and eventually manifest into the reality you experience. So many spend their days unconsciously affirming the very things they do not want. They say, I'm struggling, I never have enough, things never work out for me, and then they wonder why life seems to echo these statements back at them. But life is only reflecting what has been persistently sown in the mind. If you continuously affirm lack, struggle, or limitation, the world has no choice but to reflect those conditions back to you. The external world is merely a shadow of the inner one. What if you chose to speak only of what you desire? Imagine waking up each morning and declaring, today everything flows in my favor, or I am always at the right place at the right time. Even before physical evidence appears, if you persist in this inner dialogue, the world will begin to rearrange itself to match your belief. The mind is like a garden, and just as a gardener carefully selects the seeds they wish to plant, you must be mindful of the words you impress upon your subconscious. No gardener in their right mind would plant weeds and expect roses to bloom, yet this is what many do when they allow negative, fearful, or doubtful words to dominate their inner world. If you do not take control of your self-talk, your mind will default to the weeds of worry and limitation. But you have the power to uproot those weeds and replace them with the seeds of abundance, confidence, and success. It begins with awareness. Start listening to yourself. Pay attention to the words you repeat, especially in moments of stress or uncertainty. If you catch yourself speaking in ways that affirm lack or limitation, stop immediately and replace those thoughts with new ones. If you say, I can't afford this, shift to money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. If you think, I never get opportunities, change it to, doors are always opening for me. This is not just positive thinking, it is the art of deliberate creation. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts whatever is repeated with feeling. When you persistently affirm something, you are training your subconscious to accept it as truth, and once it does, reality must conform. This is why you must guard your self-talk as if your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Your words are creating pathways in your mind, setting the course for what will unfold in your life. If you affirm struggle, struggle will become your reality. If you affirm ease, ease will manifest. It is law. In the beginning, changing your inner dialogue may feel unnatural. You might catch yourself falling back into old patterns of speech. Do not be discouraged. Just as a gardener must consistently tend to their plants, removing weeds and nurturing the seeds they have sown, you must remain diligent in cultivating your inner world. The more you persist, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, speaking words of abundance, success, and happiness will feel as natural as breathing. And one day, you will wake up to find that the seeds you once planted in thought have bloomed into a life beyond your wildest dreams. You will look around and realize that everything you spoke with conviction has come to pass. The power was always in your hands, or rather, in your words. When you desire something, the greatest mistake you can make is to approach it from a place of lack. To ask, to beg, or to plead implies that you do not have it. And if you do not have it in your mind, you cannot have it in your reality. The key to manifestation lies in the certainty of already possessing what you seek. You do not wait for it, you declare it as already yours. Think about this. When you order a meal at a restaurant, you do not beg the waiter to bring your food. You do not doubt whether it will arrive. You simply place the order and go about your conversation, knowing that what you have asked for is being prepared. Your desire must be treated the same way. The moment you declare it as done, it is set in motion. But many struggle with this concept because they rely too much on their physical senses. They look around and see no evidence of their desire, so they assume it is not yet theirs. This is the very trap that keeps them stuck. Reality is always a reflection of past thoughts, not present declarations. If you continue to affirm what is rather than what you have declared, you will remain bound to your current circumstances. The secret is to shift your identity. Instead of being the one who wants something, be the one who already has it. Do not say, I hope I get this job. Say, I already have the perfect job. Do not say, I wish for more money. Say, I am financially abundant. This is not mere wishful thinking. It is aligning yourself with a version of you that already exists in a reality where your desire is fulfilled. And it is not enough to simply say the words, you must feel the truth of them. Imagine in detail what it is like to already have what you want. How does it feel? What do you see, hear, or experience in this fulfilled reality? The deeper you immerse yourself in the feeling of already having it, the faster it must materialize. This is where faith comes in. Faith is not hoping, nor is it wishing. It is the unwavering belief that what you have declared must come to pass. Faith is standing firm in your knowing, even when the outside world seems unchanged. The moment you let doubt creep in, you undo your own work. But when you persist in the assumption that it is already done, reality has no choice but to reflect your conviction. Imagine a person who desires success but constantly says, I am trying to be successful. That very statement implies that success is something they have not yet attained. Contrast this with the one who says, I am successful. The latter may not yet see physical proof, but by claiming success as their identity, they set events into motion that will inevitably make it so. The universe does not respond to effort, it responds to certainty. When you embody the reality of already having what you desire, the world bends to meet that assumption. People, opportunities, and circumstances shift in ways that you could not have planned. This is why you must never concern yourself with how your desire will unfold. That is not your role. Your only responsibility is to declare it, feel it, and trust that it is already done. So, do not ask, do not wait, do not wonder when it will happen. Declare it as already yours. Walk as if you already have it. Speak as if it is already part of your life. Let every thought and word align with the version of you that has already received it. And when you do this consistently, reality will adjust, and what once seemed distant will become your present experience. One of the greatest obstacles to manifesting your desires is the mind's obsession with the how. The human tendency is to question, analyze, and try to control every detail, as if sheer effort and planning will force reality to comply. But manifestation does not work this way. Your job is not to figure out how your desire will come to pass. Your only concern is the end result. The unseen power that governs all things will take care of the details. Consider the growth of a tree. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up each day to check how it is growing. You do not demand to know how the soil, the water, and the sunlight are working together. You simply trust the process. You plant the seed, nurture it, and allow nature to handle the rest. This is exactly how manifestation works. Your desire is the seed. Your belief nurtures it. The unseen forces of creation handle the how. So many make the mistake of interfering with the process. They set a desire in motion, but then immediately begin doubting. How will this happen? Where will the opportunity come from? What if it doesn't work out? These thoughts are like pulling the seed out of the soil before it has a chance to grow. When you focus on the how, you introduce resistance. You send a message to the universe that you do not fully trust that your desire is already on its way. The truth is, the how is beyond your current comprehension. The paths, circumstances, and connections that will bring your desire into being may not yet exist in your present awareness. If you try to force a certain method or predict the way it will unfold, you are limiting infinite possibilities to the narrow scope of your current knowledge. But the unseen power that orchestrates all things is not bound by these limitations. It can bring you what you desire in ways you cannot imagine. Think back to times in your life when things aligned perfectly without your interference. Perhaps you met the right person at the right moment, or an unexpected opportunity arose just when you needed it most. These are reminders that unseen forces are always at work. The same intelligence that moves the stars, that causes the seasons to change without fail, is the same intelligence that will manifest your desire. But it requires your trust. Your role is simple. Decide what you want. See it in your mind's eye as already done. Feel the joy, the relief, the satisfaction of having it. And then let go. Release the need to control or predict. Act as if it is already yours and go about your life with confidence. The moment you detach from the how, you free up space for the unseen power to work on your behalf. Detachment does not mean you do nothing. It means you move forward in alignment with your desire without desperation. You listen to intuition. You take inspired action when prompted, but you do not chase, force, or doubt. You do not worry when things seem slow or if circumstances appear unchanged. You remain unwavering in your knowing that your desire is already done and the how is unfolding in the perfect way and at the perfect time. Many fail to manifest because they try to micromanage the process. They demand to see progress. They obsess over timing. They grow impatient when things don't happen as expected. But manifestation does not operate on human schedules. It unfolds in divine order, and often in ways that surpass all expectations. When you truly understand this, you will no longer waste energy trying to figure out the how. You will rest in the certainty that the moment you desired it, it was already set into motion. You will move through life with a quiet confidence that what is meant for you is making its way to you now. And one day, without warning, you will look around and realize it has arrived. And it happened effortlessly, just as it was always meant to. When you speak of your desires, your words alone are not enough. Words without feeling are hollow, powerless echoes that fade before they ever reach the depths of creation. It is not merely what you say that shapes your reality. It is what you feel behind the words. If your declarations lack emotion, they are nothing more than lifeless sounds. But when your words are infused with deep conviction, certainty, and unwavering belief, they become a force that commands reality itself. Imagine two people saying the same phrase, "I am wealthy." One speaks the words mechanically, without emotion, filled with doubt. He says it, but inside he feels the exact opposite. He feels lack, worry, and disbelief. His words have no creative power because they contradict the feeling within. The other, however, speaks the same phrase with absolute certainty. When he says, "I am wealthy," he feels it. He allows himself to experience the joy, the security, and the freedom that come with wealth. Even if his outer world does not yet reflect it, he feels as though it is already true, and because he feels it, his reality must conform. This is the difference between wishful thinking and true manifestation. If you simply repeat words without engaging your emotions, you are like a person planting seeds in dry, barren soil. Nothing will grow. But when you speak your desires with genuine feeling, you water the seed, nourish it, and give it the energy it needs to flourish. Feeling is the language of creation. The unseen power that shapes all things does not respond to empty words, it responds to the energy behind them. This is why children manifest effortlessly. They do not simply wish, they believe with all their being. When a child pretends to be a superhero, he feels like one. He does not need external proof, he simply steps into the role with full conviction. And in that moment, he is the superhero. This is the same principle you must apply when speaking your desires into existence. When you declare something as already done, you must feel it as though it is already true. If you desire love, do not merely say, "I am love." Feel the warmth of love surrounding you. Imagine the embrace, the joy, the deep sense of connection. Let it fill every cell of your being. If you desire success, do not just say, "I am successful." Feel the pride, the confidence, the satisfaction of achievement. Walk as if success is already yours. The stronger your emotional connection to your words, the faster they will become your reality. Doubt is the only thing that can weaken your manifestations. If you say, "I am abundant," but deep inside you feel lack, struggle, or disbelief, you send conflicting signals. The universe does not give you what you say, it gives you what you believe and feel. This is why so many people struggle with manifestation. They repeat affirmations but never shift their internal state. They speak of abundance while feeling scarcity. They declare love while feeling unworthy of it. Their emotions betray their words, and as a result, nothing changes. The secret is to immerse yourself fully in the experience of your desired reality before it appears. Feel the gratitude, the relief, the excitement as if it has already happened. If you struggle to connect with the feeling, use imagination as your tool. Close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire. Hear the conversations, touch the objects, smell the air around you. Engage every sense until your body responds as though it is real, because to the subconscious mind, there is no difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. And once your subconscious accepts it as true, reality will align to make it so. So when you speak to yourself, do not speak mechanically. Do not go through the motions of affirmations without conviction. Let every word you declare carry the full force of belief. Let every syllable be charged with emotion. Let your heart, your mind, and your soul agree with the truth of your words. And when you do, the unseen power that governs all things will move to bring your desires into form. Because what you truly feel is what you inevitably become. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. Every word you speak and every belief you hold is shaping the world around you, whether you realize it or not. But for manifestation to work in your favor, you must be unwavering in your focus. You cannot declare success one moment and then sink into worry the next. You cannot speak of abundance while feeling lack, or affirm love while dwelling on loneliness. These contradictions create resistance and prevent your desires from manifesting as quickly as they could. Imagine planting a seed in the soil and then every few hours digging it up to check if it has started growing. Each time you do this, you disrupt its natural process. It never gets the chance to root itself deeply enough to sprout. This is exactly what happens when you affirm your desires but immediately contradict them with doubt and fear. You set an intention, but before it has time to take form, you pull it back with thoughts of uncertainty. The moment you question if or when your manifestation will come, you are digging up the seed before it has had a chance to grow. Many people sabotage their own manifestations without realizing it. They start the day feeling confident, declaring that everything is working in their favor, but as soon as they encounter a small inconvenience or a delay, they slip into frustration and worry. Why isn't it happening yet? What if things go wrong? What if I never get what I desire? These thoughts directly oppose the reality they were trying to create. It is like stepping forward and backward repeatedly, never making any real progress. To manifest quickly and effectively, you must train your mind to remain fixed on the reality you desire. You must become disciplined in your thinking, refusing to entertain doubts, fears, or anything that contradicts your chosen reality. If you declare that you are wealthy, then you must refuse to dwell on thoughts of financial struggle. If you affirm that you are healthy, you cannot give power to worries about illness. Your words, feelings, and actions must align with the reality you wish to experience. This does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending that difficulties do not exist. It means choosing to focus only on solutions, possibilities, and the end result. It means refusing to let temporary setbacks shake your faith. No matter what appears in the outer world, you must remain steadfast in the belief that your desire is already yours. The physical world is simply a reflection of past thoughts, and any delay is only an illusion. If you persist, reality will have no choice but to conform to your dominant state of mind. Think of a person who is truly confident in their success. They do not question whether they will achieve their goals. They know it is inevitable. They do not allow temporary setbacks to shake their belief. They remain focused, unwavering, and emotionally stable. This is the kind of mindset you must cultivate. Speak as if your desire is already done, and refuse to contradict yourself with worry, doubt, or impatience. If you find yourself slipping into old thought patterns, gently correct yourself. When worry arises, replace it with certainty. When doubt creeps in, reaffirm your belief. Remind yourself that the unseen forces are always at work, orchestrating everything in perfect timing. Trust that once you have declared your desire, it is already set into motion. Your reality is a direct reflection of your most consistent thoughts and feelings. If you keep your mind fixed on success, abundance, and fulfillment, those things will become your experience. But if you waver between faith and fear, you will slow down your own manifestations. The key is to be unwavering. Hold on to the vision of your desired reality with absolute certainty and never let go. When you do this, what you seek will come to you, Not slowly, not with struggle, but with the effortless certainty of one who knows that reality must bend to the power of an undivided mind. The mind is like fertile soil, ready to grow whatever is planted within it. The thoughts and words you repeatedly affirm are the seeds that take root and shape your reality. This is why repetition is the key to reprogramming your mind. If you wish to change your life, you must first change the inner conversation that plays in your mind every day. And this change does not happen overnight. It happens through persistent, deliberate repetition, morning, night, and throughout the day. Consider how you formed your current beliefs. They were not created in a single moment, but through repeated exposure to certain ideas. If you grew up hearing that success requires struggle, you likely accepted that as truth. If you were told that money is hard to come by, that belief took root. The mind learns through repetition, whether consciously or unconsciously. Now, to transform your reality, you must use this same principle, but with intention. When you wake up in the morning, your mind is in a highly receptive state. This is the perfect time to speak to yourself in a way that aligns with the life you desire. Before reaching for your phone, before engaging with the world, declare what you wish to be true. Say it out loud, say it with certainty. I am abundant. Everything I desire flows to me effortlessly. I am loved. I am successful. Do not merely repeat words. Feel them as true. The way you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Throughout the day, continue to reinforce these affirmations. When doubt or negativity tries to creep in, replace it immediately with a stronger thought. If you find yourself thinking, "What if things go wrong?" correct it instantly. Everything is always working in my favor. The more you repeat these truths, the deeper they take root. Before you sleep, engage in the same practice. In the moments before drifting off, your mind is in a state of deep suggestibility. What you impress upon it during this time will sink into your subconscious and begin shaping your reality. Instead of replaying the worries of the day, use this time to affirm your desires as already fulfilled. See yourself living the life you want. Hear the conversations, feel the emotions, experience the joy as if it is real. This is not just positive thinking, it is an active reprogramming of your subconscious. Repetition is what turns a new thought into an unshakable belief. The first time you affirm something, it may feel unnatural. Your mind may resist it because it contradicts what you have believed for years. But do not stop. Just as a drop of water can carve through stone over time, repeated affirmations will break through the old mental patterns that have held you back. The more you repeat, the stronger your new reality becomes. Think of the great musicians, athletes, and masters of any craft. They did not achieve greatness through occasional effort. They trained their minds and bodies through relentless repetition. The same principle applies to the art of manifestation. You must train your mind to accept your new reality as fact. Speak your desires into existence until they become so familiar, so natural, that your mind accepts them as the only truth. This is why so many people struggle with change. They affirm something once or twice and then give up when they do not see immediate results. But transformation requires persistence. Your current beliefs were not formed overnight, and they will not be undone overnight. However, with steady, unwavering repetition, you can rewrite any belief, change any circumstance, and manifest any desire. Speak to yourself daily, morning, night, and every moment in between. Let your words become the rhythm of your mind, the foundation of your reality. The more you affirm, the more deeply it takes root. And once a belief is rooted, reality must conform to it, because the outer world is always a reflection of the inner world. Speak your truth with conviction, repeat it without hesitation, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. Everything you desire is already within you, waiting to be realized. Your words, your thoughts, and your beliefs are the architects of your reality. When you speak with unwavering conviction, when you declare your desires as already fulfilled, when you refuse to entertain contradictions, and when you repeat these truths daily, you are reshaping your world from the inside out. Manifestation is not about hoping, wishing, or waiting. It is about knowing. It is about aligning your mind so completely with your vision that reality has no choice but to conform. The unseen power that governs all things is always at work, responding not to empty words, but to the deep felt conviction behind them. Speak to yourself with intention. Speak only of what you want, never of what you lack. Train your mind through repetition, and do not allow doubt to disrupt what you are creating. Stay focused, stay faithful, and remember, what you affirm with certainty must come to pass. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let us journey beyond the veil of the ordinary and into the realm of the extraordinary. For too long, the word witch has been misunderstood, misrepresented, and cloaked in fear. Today, I invite you to see it in its true light, a symbol of mastery over self, a connection to the unseen, and a deep understanding of the laws that govern creation. The first mark of a witch is the power of intention. This is not a fleeting wish or a passing desire, but a deliberate, focused thought imbued with emotion. They know that what they hold steady in their mind's eye becomes their reality. Like the sculptor who sees the statue within the marble, a witch molds their world with the clarity of their intention. The second mark is the command of energy. A witch does not beg or plead with life. They direct their energy with precision, understanding that the universe is not moved by need but by conviction. Wherever they place their attention, they know creation follows. The third mark is the seal of knowing. Faith is their foundation, not a blind faith in something outside of themselves, but a deep trust in their own creative power. They do not hope, they know, and in that knowing lies their magic. The fourth mark is the language of symbols. Rituals, objects, and symbols are not mere superstition. They are tools, keys that unlock the doors to higher consciousness. A witch uses these tools to bridge the gap between the seen and the unseen, turning abstract desires into tangible realities. The fifth and final mark is the spirit of transformation. A witch is an alchemist, transmuting the mundane into the divine, the ordinary into the extraordinary. They embrace the chaos of life, knowing it holds the seeds of creation. Where others see destruction, they see rebirth. But perhaps the most profound truth about these marks is this: they are not reserved for a chosen few. Each of us holds the potential to embody them. The witch is not an outsider, it is the part of you that dares to believe in your own power. The part that remembers you are not a victim of life, but its creator. So as you leave here today, remember the marks of a witch are not in what they wear, where they live, or how they are perceived by others. The marks are written in their thoughts, their faith, and their ability to turn their inner world into an outer masterpiece. The question is not whether you possess these marks, the question is whether you will awaken to them. A witch is not recognized by the cloak they wear, the incantations they recite, or the tools they hold. Their power lies not in the external, but in the unseen mastery of their inner world. It is within this sacred realm, where thoughts are formed and emotions flow, that the true essence of their craft emerges. The power of intention is the cornerstone of this mastery, of force so subtle, yet so profound, that it weaves the fabric of reality itself. To understand this power, one must first grasp that the universe is a mirror, endlessly reflecting the inner state of the individual. The witch knows this truth intuitively. They do not look outward for validation, nor do they chase after circumstances to find fulfillment. Instead, they retreat into the sanctuary of their mind, sculpting their desires with precision and clarity. For them, thoughts are not idle musings, but the seeds of creation, each one carrying the potential to shape the world around them. Intention is not merely a wish or a fleeting desire, it is a deliberate act of will. A witch understands that their intention must be clear, focused and unwavering, for the universe does not respond to confusion or contradiction. Imagine a painter standing before a blank canvas. Without a clear vision of what they wish to create, the strokes of their brush would be aimless, resulting in chaos rather than art. The witch, like the painter, holds a vivid image in their mind, pouring their energy into it until it becomes as real to them as the ground beneath their feet. But intention alone is not enough, it must be fueled by feeling. Thoughts without emotion are lifeless, mere shadows of possibility. The witch breathes life into their intentions through the power of their emotions, aligning their inner state with the reality they wish to manifest. They do not merely think of abundance, love, or success, they feel it as if it is already theirs. This emotional resonance creates a magnetic pull, drawing their desires toward them with an irresistible force. The witch's craft is one of alignment. They do not force their will upon the world. Instead, they align themselves with the frequency of their desires. They understand that every intention carries a vibration, and to manifest it, they must become a match for that vibration. If they seek love, they embody love. If they desire wealth, they cultivate a mindset of abundance. Through this process, they transform themselves into a vessel for their desires, allowing them to flow effortlessly into their lives. Doubt is the enemy of intention, a shadow that dims the light of creation. The witch guards their mind against it, knowing that even the smallest seed of uncertainty can take root and grow, choking the life out of their desires. They practice faith, not a blind faith in something external, but a deep, unshakable belief in their own power. This faith acts as a shield, protecting their intentions from the corrosive influence of fear and doubt. Patience, too, is a vital component of the witch's mastery. They do not rush or despair when their desires do not materialize immediately. Instead, they trust in the timing of the universe, knowing that the seeds they have planted will bloom when the conditions are right. This patience is not passive, it is an active state of trust, a quiet confidence that the unseen forces of creation are working in their favor. The tools and rituals often associated with witches' candles, herbs, chants are not the source of their power but extensions of their intention. These tools serve as physical anchors, helping to focus their energy and amplify their desires. However, a true witch knows that these tools are not necessary. Their craft begins and ends within them, in the boundless realm of their mind and spirit. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of this power is its universality. It is not exclusive to witches or mystics, but is available to all who dare to claim it. Each person possesses the ability to shape their reality through intention, yet few realize this potential. The witch, however, lives in the awareness of this truth. They do not see themselves as separate from the universe, but as a part of it, intricately connected to its rhythms and cycles. In a world that often values action over thought, the witch stands as a testament to the quiet, transformative power of the mind. They remind us that true change begins within, that the most profound creations are born not from the hands, but from the heart and mind. To embody this power is to step into the role of the creator, to take responsibility for one's life and the reality one inhabits. It is a path that requires discipline, faith, and courage, a path that leads to freedom. For when one masters their inner world, they master the outer one as well. And in that mastery lies the essence of a witch's craft. In the vast fabric of existence, everything is energy. It moves, flows, and responds to the direction it is given. Those who understand this truth gain a profound advantage, for they become not mere participants in life, but creators of it. To command energy is to master the invisible threads that weave reality together, shaping outcomes with intention and focus. It is not magic in the sense of mysticism, it is the art of understanding and working with the laws that govern the unseen. They who command energy know that it flows where focus goes. Focus is not a passive act, it is an active force. When you place your attention on something, you are not simply observing it, you are feeding it, empowering it, and inviting it to grow. The witch, or anyone who seeks mastery over their life, understands this principle deeply. They do not scatter their focus on distractions or trivialities. Instead, they concentrate their energy on what they desire, knowing that where they direct their attention, they direct the flow of creation itself. This is why clarity is essential. If one's focus is divided or unclear, the energy they project becomes scattered, ineffective, and weak. Imagine water flowing through a wide, shallow stream. Its force is diluted, unable to carve deeply into the earth. But when that same water is channeled into a narrow, focused stream, its power intensifies, capable of shaping landscapes. So too does energy work through focus. It gains momentum, force, and direction when given a clear path. To command energy is also to recognize its neutral nature. Energy does not discriminate between positive and negative focus. It simply follows the direction it is given. If one's mind is filled with fear, doubt, or resentment, that is where energy flows, magnifying those conditions. Conversely, when the mind is attuned to abundance, love, and confidence, the energy amplifies those states. The master of energy is vigilant in their thoughts, guarding against the intrusion of negativity and cultivating a mental environment that aligns with their desires. But commanding energy is not merely about thinking or feeling, it is about alignment. The one who wields this power understands that thoughts, emotions, and actions must be in harmony. They cannot think of wealth while feeling poor or act out of scarcity while desiring abundance. Such contradictions dilute the flow of energy, creating resistance and confusion. Alignment is the key. It is the state where one's inner world reflects the outer world they wish to create. This alignment often requires stillness, for energy responds most powerfully in the absence of chaos. In stillness, the currents of energy can be directed with precision, unclouded by doubt or distraction. This is why practices such as meditation, visualization, and mindfulness are so effective. They quiet the mind, focus the attention, and allow the individual to harness the full power of their energy. In this state, even the smallest intention becomes a seed with the potential to grow into a mighty tree. The command of energy also demands responsibility. To wield such power without wisdom is to invite unintended consequences. Energy is not a tool for manipulation or harm, for its flow is cyclical. What one sends out into the world inevitably returns. The master of energy acts with integrity, aligning their intentions with the greater good, knowing that the currents they set in motion will shape not only their reality but also the realities of those around them. This understanding brings freedom, for it reveals that one is never truly powerless. No matter the external circumstances, the command of energy allows for transformation from within. Even in the face of adversity, the one who masters energy can shift their focus, redirecting the flow toward solutions, opportunities, and growth. They do not resist the challenges life presents, but use them as opportunities to strengthen their command, bending the currents of life to align with their will. This bending is not forceful, it is cooperative. Energy is not something to be conquered or controlled in a rigid sense. It is a dance, a partnership between the individual and the universal forces that govern existence. The master of energy moves with these forces, not against them, trusting in their rhythm and flow. They understand that to push too hard is to create resistance, while to move with the natural currents is to harness their full power. To command energy is to command oneself. It is an art of discipline, focus, and intentionality. It is the recognition that you are not a victim of the world's currents, but a navigator of them. You have the power to direct the flow, to choose where your energy goes, and to shape the reality that unfolds before you. In this mastery lies true freedom, for when you can command your energy, you can command your life. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances or external forces. You become the creator, the architect of your destiny, bending the currents of life to align with your will and creating a reality that reflects your deepest desires and highest aspirations. At the core of every true practitioner's power lies an unshakable certainty, a deep, unyielding belief in their ability to shape reality through the power of their mind and spirit. This certainty is not born of external validation, nor is it a fleeting hope or wishful thinking. It is a profound inner knowing, a seal of conviction that what they imagine with clarity and conviction must come to pass. This is the essence of their craft, the foundation upon which their reality is built. This knowing is not a product of arrogance or delusion. It is a quiet and resolute confidence born of understanding universal laws. The witch, or any master of the unseen, recognizes that imagination is the blueprint of creation. Everything that exists in the physical world first took shape in the invisible realm of thought and intention. To know this is to grasp the ultimate creative power inherent in every individual. It is to see oneself not as a passive observer of life, but as its active architect. Doubt has no place in this realm. The witch understands that doubt is a crack in the foundation of their reality, a weakness that undermines the structure before it can fully form. When one doubts their power, they split their energy, sending conflicting signals to the universe. The result is chaos or stagnation, as the currents of creation are disrupted by uncertainty. The seal of knowing is the antidote to this. It is a shield against fear, insecurity, and hesitation, a steadfast belief that the imagined outcome is already assured, even if unseen. This certainty is not dependent on external circumstances or evidence. The witch does not wait for signs or confirmations from the world to believe in their power. They know that reality bends to the strength of conviction, not the other way around. When they imagine a desire fulfilled, they hold it in their mind with such clarity and emotional resonance that it becomes more real to them than the physical world. They live as though it is already done, walking through life with the assurance that what they have claimed internally must eventually manifest externally. This level of knowing requires practice and discipline. It is not enough to affirm or visualize sporadically. One must cultivate a state of unwavering belief. This is achieved by immersing oneself in the feeling of the desired outcome, repeatedly affirming its reality until it becomes an unshakable truth. The witch does not allow fleeting doubts or external setbacks to deter them. They see such challenges as illusions, mere tests of their resolve, and they remain anchored in their inner knowing, regardless of appearances. The seal of knowing is also deeply tied to trust in oneself, in the process, and in the unseen forces that govern creation. The witch understands that they are co-creating with the universe, that their desires are not random but are in harmony with the greater flow of existence. They do not struggle or strive to make things happen. Instead, they align themselves with the natural rhythms of creation, trusting that their inner certainty will draw their desires to them at the perfect time and in the perfect way. This trust does not imply passivity. On the contrary, it empowers action taken from a place of alignment and clarity. When the witch knows that their vision is assured, they act with confidence and purpose, free from hesitation or fear of failure. Their actions are not driven by desperation or doubt, but by the joy of bringing their inner vision into physical form. They become a conduit through which the unseen becomes seen, channeling their certainty into every thought, word, and deed. The power of knowing also extends beyond the individual. It influences the energy around them, drawing people, opportunities, and circumstances into alignment with their vision. This magnetic quality is not forced, it is a natural result of their unshakable conviction. Others are drawn to their certainty, sensing the strength and clarity of their belief. This is not manipulation, it is the effortless flow of energy responding to the power of focused intention. The seal of knowing is transformative. It allows the individual to transcend limitations, to rise above the constraints of doubt and fear, and to step fully into their creative power. It is not an external gift or a skill to be acquired, it is a state of being, a recognition of the inherent power that exists within every person. To embrace this knowing is to awaken to one's true nature as a creator, to claim the ability to shape reality according to one's highest vision. With this seal firmly in place, there is no room for hesitation. The witch walks with confidence, speaks with authority, and acts with purpose, knowing that the universe will rearrange itself to reflect their inner state. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom to create, to imagine, and to bring forth that which was once only a thought. It is the power to live not as a victim of circumstances, but as the master of one's destiny, guided by the unshakable certainty that what is imagined with conviction must come to pass. Symbols, rituals, and visualizations hold an undeniable power, transcending their surface appearance to serve as profound tools for accessing the unseen realms of consciousness. Those who understand the language of symbols wield them not as mere decorations or theatrical gestures, but as keys to unlock the mysteries of the mind and the universe. To such practitioners, these elements become bridges between the tangible and intangible, the known and the infinite. Symbols are not confined to shapes, images, or objects. They are vessels carrying layers of meaning, resonating deeply with the subconscious mind. Unlike spoken or written words, symbols bypass the analytical part of the brain, communicating directly with the part of us that understands the language of archetypes, emotions, and intuition. A circle, for example, is not just a geometric form, it is eternity, wholeness, and unity. A flame is more than fire, it represents transformation, passion, and the power of renewal. When a practitioner uses a symbol, they are engaging with these deeper meanings, inviting the energies they represent into their reality. This is not superstition or blind faith, it is a deliberate act of aligning with the vibrations that symbols carry. By focusing on a symbol, one directs their mind to resonate with its essence, creating a powerful connection between the inner world and the forces they seek to harness. Rituals amplify this connection. A ritual, no matter how simple or elaborate, is a physical enactment of intention. It serves as a container for focus, channeling scattered energies into a unified purpose. The lighting of a candle, the drawing of a sigil, or the repetition of a chant are not random acts, they are deliberate, calculated movements designed to anchor the practitioner in the present moment while directing their thoughts toward a specific goal. Through these actions, the mundane transforms into the sacred, and the practitioner steps into a state of heightened awareness. In this heightened state, the boundaries between the conscious and subconscious blur. Rituals create a liminal space, a threshold where the practitioner can access deeper realms of their mind and tap into universal energies. It is here, in this in-between state, that transformation occurs. The ritual serves as a catalyst, shifting the practitioner's inner landscape and aligning it with their desired outcome. Visualization is another essential component of this language. To visualize is to create a vivid mental image of a desired outcome, imbuing it with emotion and detail until it feels as real as the physical world. The act of visualization is more than mere daydreaming, it is a powerful form of rehearsal for reality. When the mind sees and feels an experience as if it has already happened, it begins to rewire itself to align with that reality. Neural pathways are strengthened, behaviors shift, and the energetic vibrations of the individual change to match their vision. Symbols often enhance visualization. A practitioner might visualize a golden key to represent unlocking opportunities or a rising sun to signify new beginnings. These images are not arbitrary, they resonate with the subconscious mind, guiding it to focus on the desired state. The more vividly the practitioner imagines these symbols, the more powerful their effect. But the language of symbols, rituals, and visualization is not limited to manifesting external desires. It is also a means of self-discovery and transformation. Each symbol holds a mirror to the practitioner, reflecting aspects of their inner world that may be hidden or suppressed. The rituals become journeys into the depths of the psyche, unearthing truths and clearing blockages that hinder growth. Visualization too serves as a tool for inner healing, allowing the practitioner to rewrite their narrative and step into a more empowered version of themselves. This language is universal, yet deeply personal. While the meanings of certain symbols and rituals are shared across cultures and traditions, their true power lies in the individual's relationship with them. A symbol that resonates deeply with one person may hold little significance for another. The practitioner understands this and chooses their tools intuitively, guided by what speaks to their heart and spirit. At its core, the language of symbols, rituals, and visualization is about focus and intention. It is a way of directing the mind, anchoring it in the present, while simultaneously projecting it into the desired future. Each act, each image, becomes a declaration to the universe, a statement of faith in the practitioner's ability to co-create their reality. In using these tools, the practitioner does not rely on them as crutches or external sources of power. They recognize that the true power lies within themselves. The symbols and rituals are merely expressions of this inner strength. They are reminders of the vast creative potential that resides in every individual, waiting to be awakened and directed. Through this language, the practitioner bridges the gap between the seen and the unseen, the conscious and the subconscious. They step into a role of mastery, using symbols to command energy, rituals to focus intention, and visualization to shape reality. In doing so, they align their inner world with the outer, transforming both in the process. It is not magic in the conventional sense, it is the art of understanding and wielding the profound forces that govern existence, creating a life that reflects their highest aspirations and deepest truths. True power requires no announcement, no display to convince the world of its presence. It moves silently, assuredly, and unshaken. A witch embodies this truth, walking through life with a quiet confidence that does not seek validation or acknowledgement from others. Their strength lies not in outward expressions, but in an unbreakable connection to the unseen realm, a bond so profound that it speaks volumes without uttering a word. This silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the absence of noise, not the absence of substance. A witch understands that the loudest forces are often the least effective. True power does not need to prove itself. It is self-evident, radiating a presence that is felt, not heard. Like the stillness before a storm or the depth of a calm ocean, their quiet demeanor holds immense energy beneath its surface, waiting to flow with intention when the moment calls for it. Operating in silence does not mean isolation or secrecy born of fear. It is a deliberate choice to protect the sanctity of one's power. When a person seeks external validation, they open themselves to the opinions, judgments, and energies of others, diluting their focus and weakening their resolve. A witch knows better than to scatter their energy in this way. Instead, they conserve it, channeling it inward to strengthen their connection to their inner world and the unseen forces they work with. This connection to the unseen is the foundation of their confidence. They do not rely on the shifting sands of external circumstances to define their worth or validate their efforts. They are rooted in something far deeper than knowledge that the invisible realm governs the visible. While others may scramble for control in the physical world, the witch calmly directs their energy where it matters most, knowing that their inner state will inevitably shape their outer reality. Their silence is also a form of trust in themselves, in the process, and in the forces that work in harmony with their intentions. They do not need to shout their plans from the rooftops or seek reassurance from others, for they understand that creation begins in the stillness of the mind and heart. In this silence, they nurture their visions, allowing them to grow undisturbed by the noise of doubt or the interference of external influences. This quiet confidence extends to their interactions with others. A witch does not feel the need to dominate or impose their will, for they know their power is not dependent on recognition or compliance. Their presence alone commands respect, not through intimidation but through the strength of their authenticity. People may not always understand what sets them apart, but they cannot deny the energy they carry, a calm assurance that speaks of someone who knows who they are and what they are capable of. Silence also serves as a shield. In a world full of noise, where opinions are shouted and distractions abound, silence becomes a refuge. It is a space where the witch can retreat to center themselves, free from the chaos that seeks to pull them off course. In this sacred stillness, they can hear the whispers of intuition, the guidance of the unseen, and the voice of their own soul. These subtle messages are often drowned out by the clamor of the external world, but in silence they become clear and powerful. This approach does not mean a witch is passive or withdrawn. On the contrary, their actions are deliberate and impactful, born of a clarity that silence provides. When they speak, their words carry weight because they are not wasted on trivial matters. When they act, their movements are purposeful, driven by inner alignment rather than external pressure. Their power is not in constant motion but in precise and focused intention. To move in silence is also to embrace mystery, both for oneself and others. A witch does not reveal all their thoughts, plans, or feelings, for they understand that mystery holds power. What is unknown cannot be interfered with, manipulated, or diminished. This sense of the unknown draws others to them, not out of curiosity alone, but because it is a rare quality in a world where so much is overshared and overexplained. Their silence becomes magnetic, a quiet pull that intrigues and inspires. The silence of power is about mastery of oneself, one's energy, and one's connection to the greater forces of existence. It is the realization that true strength does not come from noise or spectacle, but from the unwavering stillness within. It is a state of being that requires no audience, no applause, and no affirmation, for it is complete in itself. In this silence, the witch moves through life with grace and certainty, shaping their reality with subtle yet profound force. Their quiet confidence becomes a testament to the truth that power is not something to be displayed, but something to be embodied. And when power is embodied in this way, it speaks louder than words ever could. Transformation is the essence of power, the art of taking what is and shaping it into what could be. A true alchemist of the soul knows this intimately, for their craft is not bound by circumstance or limitation. Instead, they wield transformation as their gift, their purpose, and their truth. They do not flinch in the face of challenges or crumble beneath the weight of despair. To them, trials are not barriers but opportunities, stepping stones to greater heights. They take what others see as ashes and craft beauty. They do not resist the storm but merge with its energy, becoming the very force that transforms. To transform is not merely to change one's outer circumstances. It is a deep, inner alchemy, a process of turning the lead of human suffering, doubt, and fear into the goal of resilience, strength, and wisdom. This transformation begins within the soul, where the raw material of life's experiences is melted down and recast into something more profound. A witch understands this process as both a surrender and an assertion of will. It is a surrender to the flow of life, accepting that storms will come, and an assertion of their power to shape what follows. Trials are inevitable, but the witch does not see them as enemies. They view challenges as initiations, necessary steps in their evolution. Every difficulty carries within it the seeds of transformation, waiting to be cultivated. It is not the storm itself that defines them, but how they respond to its call. Rather than shrinking back in fear or denial, they step forward boldly, embracing the chaos as a force of renewal. They understand that within destruction lies the potential for creation, and within every ending, the promise of a new beginning. This understanding requires courage, for transformation is not a passive act. It is a journey into the unknown, a willingness to face the darkest parts of oneself and the world. A witch meets this darkness with open eyes and an open heart, knowing that the very pain they face holds the wisdom they seek. They do not shy away from the fire, but step into it, allowing it to burn away what no longer serves them. In this way, they become like the phoenix, rising from the ashes of their former selves with renewed strength and clarity. But transformation is not only about enduring trials, it is about transcending them. It is the ability to take what was meant to harm and turn it into something that heals. It is turning sorrow into compassion, failure into resilience, and loss into gratitude. A witch does this not through denial or suppression, but through deep, conscious engagement with their experiences. They mine their trials for meaning, extracting the lessons and insights that will guide them forward. This process is not linear or easy. Transformation demands patience and faith, for it often unfolds in ways that are not immediately visible. Like the caterpillar that dissolves within its cocoon before emerging as a butterfly, the witch understands that the most profound changes occur in the unseen realms. They trust in this process, even when it feels chaotic or uncertain, knowing that every step is part of their growth. In embracing transformation, a witch also embraces their power as a creator. They recognize that they are not at the mercy of external forces, but are active participants in shaping their reality. This does not mean they can control every aspect of life, but they can control how they respond, how they perceive, and how they move forward. This is their alchemy, the ability to take whatever life gives them and use it as material for their evolution. The storm then becomes a metaphor for their power. Just as the storm reshapes the landscape, a witch reshapes their inner and outer worlds. They do not fight against the winds of change, but harness their energy, using it to propel themselves forward. They become the storm not in a destructive sense, but in a transformative one, embodying the force of change with grace and purpose. This spirit of transformation is not reserved for moments of crisis, it is a way of life. A witch continually seeks growth, understanding that stagnation is the only true death. They are always evolving, always seeking to refine and expand their understanding of themselves and the world. Even in moments of peace, they remain attuned to the subtle shifts within and around them, ready to adapt and grow. In their hands, every experience becomes a tool for transformation. They turn wounds into wisdom, obstacles into opportunities, and endings into new beginnings. They do this not through magic in the traditional sense, but through the profound power of their perspective, intention, and resilience. A witch's spirit of transformation is a reminder that we are all alchemists, capable of turning our trials into triumphs and our ashes into beauty. It is an invitation to embrace life's storms not with fear, but with the knowledge that within them lies the power to create, to grow, and to become. By embodying this spirit, they show that true transformation begins not with resistance, but with a willingness to step into the fire and emerge reborn. In every fiber of their being, the witch embodies transformation, silence, intention, and the mastery of energy and symbols. They are the alchemists of life, turning trials into triumphs, moving with quiet confidence, and shaping their reality with precision and purpose. Their connection to the unseen realm is unshakable, and their power is not in grand displays, but in the subtle yet profound way they command their inner and outer worlds. The true essence of their craft lies in their ability to become the storm, to harness the currents of life, and to emerge from every challenge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with their purpose. Through their practice, they remind us that we all carry within us the potential to transform, to create, and to rise above. Thank you for allowing me to share these insights with you. May you walk forward with the quiet confidence of one who knows their power and the wisdom to use it well. For a moment, and imagine this: your mind is a vast and untamed kingdom. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, builds or tears down this kingdom. Now ask yourself, are you building a fortress of strength or a fragile house of weakness? Mental weakness begins the moment you surrender your imagination to the tyranny of external circumstances. You say, I can't because they won't. I'm stuck because this is how life is. But let me tell you this, the world you see around you is not the master, it is the servant of your inner state. Strength starts with discipline. The undisciplined mind is like a ship without a captain, tossed around by the winds of fear, doubt, and failure. Train your thoughts as you would train a wild horse. Teach it to focus, to obey your will, and to create only that which uplifts and empowers you. When fear whispers in your ear, when doubt raises its voice, silence it. Speak with authority, I am stronger than this. I am the creator of my reality. The moment you let doubt dominate, you relinquish your power. And if you've done that before, decide right now to take it back. The mental strength does not mean the absence of hardship. Hardship will come. Resistance will rise. But hear me, resistance is not a wall to stop you, it is a mirror reflecting your fear. Face it, walk through it, and claim the strength that lies on the other side. Above all, assume the state of power. Your inner state defines your outer world. Stop saying, I am weak even in jest. Stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance. Instead, declare, I am resilient, I am capable, I am unstoppable. And do so with conviction, not because you wish it to be true, but because it is true. You are far stronger than you know. Stop being mentally weak, not by avoiding challenges, but by embracing them as opportunities to prove to yourself who you really are: a creator, a force, a master of your own mind. The choice is yours. Will you rise? Your mind is not just a collection of thoughts, ideas, and memories. It is a kingdom, a vast, sovereign realm over which you hold absolute authority. Like any kingdom, it can either flourish or crumble, depending on how well it is governed. Your thoughts are the citizens of this kingdom, and your beliefs act as its laws. The strength and prosperity of your inner world are directly tied to how diligently you guard and nurture this sacred domain. Many fail to realize the power they hold over their mental kingdom. They allow external circumstances, other people's opinions, and fleeting emotions to infiltrate and dictate the state of their mind. This is equivalent to leaving the gates of a fortress wide open to invaders. Mental weakness stems from this lack of vigilance. When you neglect to guard your thoughts, you permit negativity, doubt, and fear to take root, creating chaos within. But remember, no one can overthrow your kingdom unless you allow it. Your mind thrives when you treat it with respect and care. Think of your thoughts as seeds. What you plant will grow. If you allow seeds of doubt, fear, and failure to take root, your kingdom will soon be overrun with weeds, choking the potential for beauty and greatness. Conversely, if you deliberately plant thoughts of strength, faith, and confidence, your kingdom will flourish with abundance and resilience. The power lies entirely in your hands, or more accurately, in your mind. To guard your mental kingdom fiercely, you must first become aware of what you allow to enter. Every word you hear, every image you see, every conversation you engage in has the potential to influence your inner world. Do not consume negativity mindlessly. Be selective, just as a ruler would be with advisors and counsel. Surround yourself with uplifting words, empowering ideas, and people who inspire you. This is not about avoiding reality, but about choosing which realities to focus on and amplify within yourself. The greatest threat to your mental kingdom often comes from within. Self-doubt is the traitor that whispers lies in the quiet of your mind. It tells you that you are not enough, that your dreams are unattainable, that life is too hard. If left unchecked, these whispers grow into a chorus, drowning out the voice of your own inner strength. To combat this, you must actively challenge these thoughts. Speak with authority to yourself as a ruler commands their subjects. Say, I am capable. I am worthy. I am the master of my fate in doing so. You reclaim the power that self-doubt seeks to steal. Discipline is the cornerstone of any strong kingdom. Without it, even the most promising realm will fall into disarray. Mental discipline involves training your mind to focus on what matters, to let go of distractions, and to remain steadfast in the face of challenges. It is not an easy task, but it is an essential one. Each time you resist the urge to dwell on negativity or indulge in unproductive thoughts, you strengthen your kingdom. Over time, this discipline becomes second nature, and your mind becomes an unshakable fortress. Your thoughts are not passive entities, they are builders. Every thought lays a brick in the structure of your reality. What kind of kingdom are you constructing? Is it one of strength, confidence, and abundance, or one of fear, weakness, and lack? Understand that you hold the blueprint, the materials, and the tools. You decide the architecture of your inner world. When you treat your mind as a kingdom, you approach life with a sense of responsibility and power. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or fate for your struggles, and instead look within to find solutions. You recognize that the external world is but a reflection of the inner state of your mind. A strong and well-governed mental kingdom will naturally project strength and harmony into your life. No kingdom is built overnight, nor is it immune to challenges. There will be moments when you falter, when fear and doubt manage to slip past your defenses. But a wise ruler does not give up at the first sign of trouble. Instead, they learn, adapt, and strengthen their defenses. So too must you approach your mind. Guard it fiercely, nurture it daily, and govern it with wisdom. In doing so, you will create a kingdom within that no force in the external world can ever shake. Imagination is far more than idle daydreaming or fanciful musings. It is the most profound creative force you possess. It is the architect of your future, the builder of your reality, and the key to unlocking the life you desire. Your imagination is not limited by the constraints of the physical world. Instead, it operates on a higher plane, one where possibilities are infinite and the boundaries of reality are defined only by what you believe to be true. Yet many underestimate this power, treating it as insignificant or merely a source of entertainment. To do so is to surrender one of the greatest tools you have been given. When you imagine something, you give it life in the unseen realm. Every thought, vision, or picture you hold in your mind begins the process of creation. The world around you is a reflection of the collective imagination of humanity. Every invention, every piece of art, every solution to a problem first existed in someone's imagination. They saw it clearly in their mind's eye before it ever came into physical existence. This is the power of imagination. It bridges the gap between the intangible and the tangible, making the unseen seen. Mental weakness occurs when you hand over this power to external conditions. You allow the world around you, circumstances, challenges, and the opinions of others to dictate what you believe is possible. You say, I can't imagine a better future because my current situation is too difficult, but this is the very opposite of what imagination is for. It is not meant to reflect your current reality, it is meant to transcend it. When you surrender your imagination to the limitations of the physical world, you abandon your ability to create a new reality. Consider this: your imagination is always active. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly using it to shape your life. When you dwell on fears, worries, or negative outcomes, you are imagining a reality that you do not want. The mind does not differentiate between a vividly imagined scenario and actual reality. It responds as if both are equally real. Thus, when you focus on fear or doubt, you are planting the seeds of those experiences in your future. Mental weakness is allowing this process to go unchecked, letting your imagination be hijacked by negativity and external influences. To reclaim your power, you must consciously direct your imagination toward what you desire, not what you fear. Picture your goals as already accomplished. See yourself living the life you want, not in some distant future, but as if it is happening right now. Feel the emotions of joy, confidence, and gratitude that come with this vision. This is not wishful thinking, it is the deliberate use of imagination to create a new state of being. When you consistently hold these images in your mind, you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with them, drawing them into your reality. Imagination is the birthplace of resilience. In moments of struggle, when the world seems to conspire against you, your imagination can become your sanctuary. Instead of focusing on the difficulties, imagine yourself overcoming them. Visualize solutions, opportunities, and outcomes that serve your highest good. This mental strength keeps you from being overwhelmed by temporary setbacks and helps you maintain faith in your ability to succeed. The greatest leaders, visionaries, and creators throughout history understood this principle. They did not let external conditions dictate their vision. Instead, they used their imagination to shape the future they desired. They dared to dream of what others considered impossible and held steadfast to that vision until it became reality. This is the essence of mental strength, believing in the power of your imagination, even when the evidence around you suggests otherwise. To wield this power effectively, you must train your mind to focus on what uplifts and empowers you. This requires discipline and awareness. Pay attention to the images you entertain in your mind. Are they aligned with the life you want to create, or are they shaped by fear and limitation? Remember, every thought is a seed, and every seed grows. Choose to plant thoughts that nourish your dreams and inspire your spirit. Your imagination is the compass that guides you through life. It points you toward your deepest desires and shows you what is possible when you dare to believe. Do not let it be clouded by doubt or hijacked by circumstances. Claim it as your own, nurture it with care, and use it to shape a future that reflects your highest potential. In doing so, you will discover that imagination is not just a creative force, it is the very essence of your power. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many perceive it as a form of restriction, an unwelcome set of rules that limits freedom and spontaneity. But true discipline is not oppression, it is liberation in its purest form. It is the art of self-mastery, the conscious decision to align your thoughts, actions, and intentions with your highest goals and aspirations. Through discipline, you unlock the power to shape your destiny, transforming your life into a deliberate and purposeful journey, rather than a series of random events dictated by external forces. At the core of discipline lies the ability to govern your thoughts. Most people allow their minds to wander unchecked, jumping from one thought to another without intention or direction. They become victims of their own mental chatter, reacting to every doubt, fear, and fleeting desire that arises. This lack of control leads to chaos and stagnation, as they are unable to focus on the actions necessary to achieve their goals. Discipline changes this dynamic. It enables you to take charge of your mind, directing it toward what serves your growth and dismissing what does not. When you master your thoughts, you gain mastery over your life. Your thoughts are the seeds from which your reality grows. What you focus on expands, and what you consistently think about becomes your experience. Without discipline, your thoughts are at the mercy of external influences, news, social media, negative people, and fleeting emotions. But with discipline, you become the gatekeeper of your mind, allowing only those thoughts that align with your vision and values to take root. This mental clarity empowers you to make decisions and take actions that move you closer to your goals. Discipline is not about denying yourself pleasure or joy. It is about choosing the things that truly matter over fleeting gratifications. It is the ability to delay immediate rewards in favor of long-term fulfillment. This principle applies to every area of life. Whether it's pursuing a career goal, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, or cultivating meaningful relationships, discipline ensures that your actions are aligned with your deeper purpose. In this sense, discipline is the ultimate expression of self-respect. It is the acknowledgement that your dreams and aspirations are worth the effort and commitment they require. The path of discipline is not always easy. It demands effort, focus, and persistence. There will be moments of doubt, frustration, and temptation to give up. But it is precisely in these moments that discipline reveals its true strength. It teaches you to push through resistance, to keep going even when the results are not yet visible. Over time, this consistent effort builds momentum, turning small daily actions into significant achievements. Discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment, the force that transforms potential into reality. The discipline liberates you from the chaos of indecision and regret. When you have a clear sense of purpose and the discipline to follow through, you no longer waste energy second-guessing your choices or lamenting missed opportunities. Your path becomes focused and intentional, free from the distractions that pull others off course. This clarity brings a sense of peace and confidence, as you know that you are actively shaping your life rather than passively reacting to it. Discipline is a form of freedom. It frees you from the grip of habits and behaviors that do not serve you. It liberates you from the tyranny of doubt and fear, allowing you to pursue your dreams with unwavering confidence. Through discipline, you become the master of your own destiny, charting a course toward a life of purpose, fulfillment, and joy. So embrace discipline not as a burden but as a gift. Recognize it as the key to unlocking your potential and living the life you were meant to live. Each act of discipline, no matter how small, is a step towards self-mastery. And in mastering yourself, you master the world around you, creating a reality that reflects your highest aspirations and truest desires. Discipline is not a limitation, it is the path to true liberation. The most persistent and insidious critic you will ever face is not someone external, it is the voice within you. This inner critic, often born from fear, past failures, or the conditioning of others, can be relentless in sowing seeds of doubt. It questions your abilities, undermines your confidence, and tells you that your dreams are too ambitious or unattainable. Left unchecked, this voice can paralyze you, keeping you trapped in a cycle of hesitation and inaction. To truly rise above limitations, you must train your mind to silence this doubter within and replace it with unwavering faith in your vision. Self-doubt begins as a whisper, a fleeting thought that questions whether you are good enough or capable enough. But if you give it your attention, it grows louder, embedding itself in your psyche and shaping your beliefs. These doubts often stem from past experiences, times when you failed, were criticized, or felt inadequate. Over time, these moments create a narrative in your mind, convincing you that you are defined by your shortcomings rather than your potential. This narrative is a lie, but it is a convincing one. And if you listen to it, it becomes your reality. The first step in silencing the doubter within is recognizing that this voice is not you. It is a fragment of your mind shaped by fear and conditioned responses, but it does not define your true self. Your essence is not the sum of your fears or failures, it is the infinite potential within you, the creative force capable of shaping your reality. When you understand this, you can begin to separate yourself from the voice of doubt and see it for what it truly is, a distortion, not a truth. To silence the inner doubter, you must cultivate awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts, particularly in moments of challenge or decision. When doubt arises, do not suppress or ignore it, acknowledge it and question its validity. Ask yourself, is this thought based on truth or is it a projection of fear? Most often, you will find that doubt has no solid foundation, it is merely an echo of past insecurities or external influences. By challenging these thoughts, you strip them of their power and begin to reclaim control over your mind. Replacing doubt with faith in your vision requires intentional effort. Faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking, it is a steadfast belief in the reality of what you desire, even before it manifests. To cultivate this faith, you must feed your mind with thoughts and images that support your goals. Visualize your dreams as already accomplished. See yourself living the life you desire with all the joy, confidence, and fulfillment that comes with it. The more vividly you imagine this reality, the more your mind begins to accept it as true, replacing doubt with certainty. Affirmations are another powerful tool in this process. Speak words of encouragement and empowerment to yourself daily. Replace negative self-talk with affirmations that align with your vision. Instead of saying, "I don't think I can do this," declare, "I am capable, determined, and unstoppable." These words, repeated consistently, rewire your mind, reinforcing a new narrative of self-belief. Over time, the inner critic's voice grows weaker, drowned out by the louder and more confident voice of your true self. Action is the ultimate antidote to doubt. The more you act in alignment with your goals, the more evidence you gather of your own capability. Each step forward, no matter how small, builds confidence and erodes the foundation of self-doubt. Even in moments of failure, action teaches you resilience and adaptability, proving that setbacks are not the end but stepping stones to success. Faith in your vision also requires patience. Doubt thrives on impatience, whispering that progress is too slow or that obstacles are insurmountable. But faith understands that the journey is as important as the destination. Trust in the timing of your life and in your ability to navigate whatever comes your way. When doubt arises, remind yourself that every great achievement was once just a vision held by someone who refused to let fear dictate their actions. In silencing the doubter within, you do not eradicate fear entirely, you transform it. You learn to see fear not as a barrier, but as a signal that you are stepping beyond your comfort zone and into growth. You recognize that doubt is a natural part of the process, but refuse to let it define or deter you. Your inner voice has the power to shape your reality. When it speaks words of doubt, it creates limitation. When it speaks words of faith, it creates possibility. Train your mind to be your greatest ally, not your harshest critic. Replace the voice of fear with the voice of belief. Hold steadfast to your vision, nurture it with unwavering confidence, and watch as the world around you begins to reflect the boundless potential within. Mental strength is not defined by a life free of challenges or the absence of difficulty. Rather, it is forged in the fire of resistance and demonstrated in the ability to persist despite obstacles. Resistance is a natural part of any journey toward growth, success, or transformation. It often appears as doubt, fear, setbacks, or external opposition, but at its core, resistance is merely the shadow of fear, a transient force that tests your resolve. True strength lies in understanding this and moving forward with unwavering determination. Resistance can take many forms. It might show up as the voice in your mind that tells you to quit when things get hard, or as external circumstances that seem to conspire against your progress. It might come in the form of people doubting your vision, financial challenges, or a string of failures that make you question your path. Whatever its guise, resistance is not a sign that you should stop, it is an invitation to rise. It is the universe asking you, how much do you want this? The first step in persisting beyond resistance is recognizing it for what it is, a temporary force, not an absolute barrier. Resistance feeds on fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But fear itself is often baseless, a projection of what might happen rather than what is actually happening. When you confront resistance with clarity and courage, its power begins to diminish. Persistence requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing resistance as a sign that something is wrong, view it as evidence that you are on the path of growth. Challenges are not obstacles meant to deter you, they are milestones that mark your progress. Each time you encounter resistance, you have an opportunity to strengthen your resolve, deepen your commitment, and refine your approach. Resistance is not the enemy, it is the teacher. Mental strength is also rooted in preparation. When you know that resistance is inevitable, you can prepare for it mentally and emotionally. This does not mean anticipating every challenge or worrying about what might go wrong. It means cultivating a mindset that is resilient and adaptable. Expect resistance, but do not fear it. Instead, arm yourself with the knowledge that you have the power to overcome whatever comes your way. Action is the greatest weapon against resistance. When doubt and fear try to paralyze you, the simple act of taking a step forward disrupts their hold. Each action, no matter how small, builds momentum. It sends a message to your mind that you are in control, not the fear or hesitation trying to stop you. Persistence is not about moving mountains in a single day. It is about showing up every day, chipping away at the obstacles, and refusing to give up. In moments of resistance, it is crucial to return to your why. Why did you start this journey? What is the vision that drives you? What is at stake if you give up? Your reasons for persisting must be stronger than the excuses resistance offers. When your why is clear and compelling, it becomes a source of strength that anchors you during storms of doubt. Persistence is not about ignoring pain or pretending that challenges do not exist. It is about acknowledging the difficulty but choosing to continue anyway. It is about trusting that each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Resistance may slow you down, but it cannot stop you unless you allow it to. Faith plays a crucial role in persisting beyond resistance. Faith is the belief in the unseen, the conviction that your efforts will bear fruit even when the results are not yet visible. It is the quiet confidence that the universe responds to persistence, aligning circumstances and opportunities in your favor as you stay the course. Your life is shaped not by external circumstances, but by the mental states you embody. Every thought, emotion, and belief you hold influences the reality you experience. This is the fundamental power of consciousness it creates. To transform your life, you must first transform your mind, choosing to assume the state of power regardless of the conditions around you. Strength, resilience, and confidence are not traits reserved for the fortunate, they are mental states you can adopt and live into, no matter what challenges you face. Circumstances are always shifting, like waves upon the ocean. But your inner state can be as steady as the deep waters beneath the surface. When you assume the state of power, you anchor yourself in an unshakable foundation. This state is not dependent on the approval of others, material success, or ideal conditions. It is a choice to embody a mindset that says, I am capable, I am unbreakable, and I am enough. This choice begins within and radiates outward, influencing every aspect of your life. To embody power, start by observing your current mental states. How do you respond to setbacks? Do you shrink in the face of difficulty, or do you stand firm? Many of us unconsciously adopt states of fear, doubt, or weakness, allowing these emotions to dictate our actions and limit our potential. The key is awareness. You must become conscious of these patterns and decide to replace them with states that serve your highest vision. Strength is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to face it without losing your center. To assume the state of strength, focus on what you can control: your thoughts, reactions, and actions. When life presents challenges, remind yourself that you have faced difficulties before and emerged stronger. Strength is cultivated through persistence, through the act of showing up for yourself, even when the path is unclear. Tell yourself, I have the power to handle this, and watch as your resolve grows. Resilience is the ability to recover, to bend without breaking, and to adapt in the face of adversity. When you embody resilience, you see setbacks not as failures but as opportunities to learn and grow. Life will not always go according to plan, but the state of resilience allows you to navigate the unexpected with grace and determination. Practice reframing challenges as stepping stones. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I use this to become better? In doing so, you transform difficulties into strength. Confidence is the unwavering belief in your own abilities and worth. It is not arrogance or a false sense of superiority. It is the quiet assurance that you are capable of achieving your goals. Confidence begins with self-acceptance. To embody confidence, you must let go of the need for external validation. You are not defined by the opinions of others or by temporary outcomes. Look within and affirm your inherent value. Visualize yourself as the person you want to be, walking, speaking, and acting with confidence. The more you embody this state, the more naturally it becomes a part of who you are. Assuming the state of power requires imagination and repetition. Imagine yourself as the strongest, most resilient, and most confident version of yourself. Feel it in your body, in the way you carry yourself, in the tone of your voice. Practice this daily until it becomes second nature. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you consistently assume the state of power, your mind begins to align your thoughts, actions, and external reality with this state. Do not wait for external circumstances to change before embodying power. If you wait for the right conditions, you will wait forever. True power is born in moments of uncertainty and challenge, when everything around you suggests weakness, but you choose strength. When you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath, center yourself, and declare, I am powerful. These simple words, spoken with conviction, can shift your mental state in an instant. As you practice assuming the state of power, you will notice changes in your external world. Opportunities will appear, obstacles will seem less daunting, and people will respond to the energy you radiate. This is not coincidence, it is the natural result of aligning your inner state with the outcomes you desire. The world reflects back to you the state you consistently embody. Every moment offers a choice. You can choose to embody fear, doubt, and limitation, or you can choose to embody strength, resilience, and confidence. This choice is the foundation of your power. Assume the state of power, and you will create a life that reflects your inner strength. In life, the journey to mental strength and empowerment begins within. Your mind is the foundation of your reality, and every thought, belief, and state you embody shapes the world around you. By treating your mind as a kingdom, harnessing the power of imagination, cultivating discipline, silencing self-doubt, persisting beyond resistance, and assuming the state of power, you create a life of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. Challenges will come, but they are not meant to defeat you. They are opportunities to reveal your strength. Your thoughts are the seeds of your future, and with conscious effort, you can sow a garden of confidence, resilience, and unshakable belief in your own potential. When you choose strength over weakness, faith over fear, and action over hesitation, you align yourself with the boundless possibilities of creation. Every great transformation begins with a single decision to step into your power and claim the life you deserve. The path may not always be easy, but it is always worth it. Trust yourself, trust the process, and know that you are far stronger than you realize. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your willingness to embrace this journey toward mental empowerment. May your life be a reflection of the strength and greatness that already resides within you. My dear friends, there comes a moment in every life when you must confront the choices you make. not from a place of love, but from a place of lack. How often have you reached out for what refuses to reach back? How often have you poured your energy, your love, and your attention into a vessel that neither sees nor honors the gift that you are? This is not the way of creation. This is the way of illusion, the illusion that you must strive, chase, or fight to earn what is already yours by divine right. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, why do I cling to what rejects me? Why do I bow to the idea that I must prove my worth to anyone or anything outside of myself? The answer lies in the misunderstanding of who you are. You are the creator, the dreamer of your own reality. And yet, when you choose what does not choose you, you declare to the world that you are less than the magnificent being you truly are. The time has come to stop chasing shadows. The time has come to stop clinging to what cannot see your light. Let go of the people, circumstances, and dreams that reject you not with bitterness, but with the grace of knowing that their rejection is not a reflection of your value, but a signal of misalignment. To stop choosing what does not choose you is not an act of surrender, it is an act of power. When you release, you open the door to what truly belongs to you. You see, the law is simple: what is meant for you will never need to be forced. It will come with ease, with flow, and with certainty. So shift your focus inward. Choose yourself. Choose the peace that comes from knowing your worth is not determined by who or what validates you. Embody the state of being chosen by loving yourself fully, and watch as the world begins to mirror this love back to you. To cling to what does not choose you is to perpetuate the illusion of lack. But to let go is to step into abundance. Release with grace, for in that release you align with your true destiny, a destiny that does not demand effort, only faith in the infinite supply of what is truly yours. Walk away, not with fear, but with the quiet assurance that what is meant for you is already on its way. Stop choosing what does not choose you, and let the blessings of alignment flow into your life. You are the chosen, my friends, if only you choose to believe it. You are not meant to chase after anything or anyone that does not reciprocate your value. The very act of chasing implies a state of lack, a belief that you are incomplete until the object of your pursuit validates your existence. But this is an illusion, a distortion of the truth of who you are. Your worth is not something that can be granted or taken away by external forces. It is intrinsic, unchanging, and eternal. To recognize your worth is to awaken to the realization that you are whole, complete, and enough exactly as you are. Many of us fall into the trap of seeking validation from others. We look for love, approval, and acceptance outside ourselves, believing that when we find it, we will finally feel whole. Yet this pursuit often leaves us empty and exhausted because it is rooted in a misunderstanding that our value depends on how others perceive us. When you chase after those who do not see your worth, you hand over your power. You allow their lack of recognition to define you, forgetting that their inability to see your value says more about them than it does about you. True alignment begins when you stop looking outward and turn your attention inward. It is not about convincing others to choose you, it is about choosing yourself. When you understand your inherent worth, you no longer feel the need to beg for scraps of attention or love. You realize that you are deserving of relationships, opportunities, and circumstances that honor your value without condition or compromise. Recognizing your worth is an act of liberation. It frees you from the chains of dependency on external validation and allows you to stand tall in the truth of who you are. It teaches you to walk away from what does not serve you, not because you are unworthy, but because you are too worthy to settle for less than what aligns with your highest good. This is not arrogance, it is self-respect. It is the understanding that you do not need to chase, plead, or prove your value to anyone. When you truly know your worth, you begin to attract different experiences into your life. The energy of self-recognition is magnetic. It sends a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive what matches your vibration. No longer do you settle for relationships where your love is unreciprocated, jobs that do not appreciate your talents, or situations that make you feel small. Instead, you begin to see opportunities, people, and experiences that reflect your value showing up effortlessly. This shift does not mean that you will never face rejection or disappointment. These moments are a natural part of life, but they no longer have the power to shake your sense of self. When you know your worth, rejection becomes a redirection, a gentle nudge from the universe guiding you toward what is truly meant for you. You stop taking it personally and instead see it as a sign that the alignment was not there. Understanding your worth also means being patient. It requires trust that what is meant for you will never miss you, and that you do not need to chase or cling to force something into being. This patience is not passive, it is active faith. It is the quiet confidence that everything you need is already within you, and that the external world will mirror this truth in time. To truly live from a place of worthiness is to embody a state of peace. You are no longer at the mercy of others' opinions or actions. You walk through life with the assurance that you are enough, not because of what you do or what you have, but simply because you are. This understanding transforms your relationships, your career, and your entire experience of life. The world begins to treat you as you treat yourself. If you see yourself as worthy, the world will reflect that back to you in ways that are beyond what you can imagine. You will find yourself surrounded by people who uplift and cherish you, opportunities that honor your talents, and experiences that bring joy and fulfillment. Recognizing your worth is not just a moment of clarity, it is a daily practice. It is choosing to honor yourself in your thoughts, actions, and choices. It is reminding yourself that you are not here to beg for what is already yours by divine right. You are here to receive, to create, and to live in alignment with the truth that you are enough, exactly as you are. What you cling to out of desperation will often elude you, for desperation is the language of lack, not abundance. It stems from fear of loss, fear of being unworthy, fear of not having enough. When you cling, you create resistance. This resistance disrupts the natural flow of life, making it impossible for what is truly yours to align effortlessly with your reality. To let go is not to abandon hope, but to release the weight of desperation and embrace the calm certainty that what belongs to you cannot be taken away. Consider the nature of a clenched fist. When you hold on too tightly, your hand becomes rigid, unable to receive. This is the same with your energy. Desperation constricts while detachment opens. Clinging binds you to a state of longing, reinforcing the idea that you are separate from what you desire. The act of letting go, on the other hand, is a declaration of trust in the unseen forces that govern your life, a recognition that the universe operates with precision and wisdom far beyond our human understanding. Letting go does not mean giving up, it means releasing the need to control. When you are desperate, you send a signal to yourself and the world that you do not trust the natural unfolding of life. You grasp at people, outcomes, and situations, believing that without them you will be incomplete. Yet this very grasping often pushes away what you seek. Imagine trying to catch a butterfly. The harder you chase, the further it flies. But when you sit still, the butterfly may land gently on your shoulder. Detachment is not indifference. It is not about caring less or giving up on your dreams. Instead, it is about holding your desires with an open hand, trusting that if they are meant for you, they will come to you at the right time and in the right way. It is about shifting your focus from external outcomes to internal alignment. When you detach, you create space for what is truly aligned with your highest good to flow into your life without force or struggle. When you cling, you are often operating from a place of fear that you are not enough or that what you desire will never come. But fear creates a barrier between you and the fulfillment of your dreams. Letting go allows you to step into a state of trust, where you no longer feel the need to chase or control. This trust is a powerful force. It communicates to the universe that you are ready to receive, not because you are desperate, but because you know you are worthy. Detachment is also an act of self-respect. It acknowledges that your happiness and peace are not contingent on external circumstances. You no longer place your well-being in the hands of someone else's choices or the outcome of a specific situation. Instead, you reclaim your power, recognizing that true fulfillment comes from within. This shift in perspective is transformative. It frees you from the anxiety and stress of trying to make things happen and allows you to experience the joy and abundance that comes from living in alignment with your true self. As you let go, you may notice something remarkable. The things you once chased begin to gravitate toward you. This is not coincidence, it is the natural result of releasing resistance. When you detach, you align with the flow of life, which is always moving toward your highest good. You stop blocking the very blessings you seek with your own desperation and allow them to manifest in their own time and way. The practice of detachment requires faith in the unseen, faith in the timing of your life, and faith in your own worthiness. It asks you to release the illusion of control and trust that the universe is working in your favor, even when you cannot see it. This faith is not blind, it is rooted in the understanding that everything in life is interconnected, and that what is truly yours will always find its way to you. In letting go, you discover a deeper sense of peace. You no longer feel the need to force or chase, because you know that you are already complete. Detachment allows you to live with grace, embracing the present moment without being consumed by fear or longing. It reminds you that life is not a battle to be won, but a journey to be experienced with trust and openness. So let go, not because you do not care, but because you trust. Release the weight of desperation and step into the freedom of detachment. In doing so, you will find that what truly belongs to you will come not as a result of your effort, but as a natural alignment with the abundance and flow of life. The feeling that you must pursue something that rejects you arises from the illusion of lack, a deeply ingrained belief that you are incomplete, and that something external will fill the void within you. This illusion is the root of many struggles, for it blinds you to the truth of your being. You are already whole, abundant, and complete. It convinces you to chase after things, people, or circumstances that seem to hold the key to your happiness, when in reality, these pursuits only reinforce the false idea that you are lacking. When you feel the urge to pursue what rejects you, pause and ask yourself why. Often the answer lies in a misunderstanding of your worth. You may believe that the approval of someone else, the attainment of a goal, or the acquisition of material things will validate your existence. But this belief is an illusion, for your value does not come from anything outside of you. It is inherent, unchanging, and eternal. No rejection, no loss, and no external circumstance can diminish it. The illusion of lack is a trick of the mind. It convinces you to focus on what you do not have, creating a sense of desperation and neediness. This focus on scarcity clouds your vision and keeps you trapped in a cycle of longing and frustration. It whispers that you are not enough, that happiness lies just out of reach, and that if only you could have this or that, you would finally feel complete. Yet the truth is the opposite. Abundance begins not with having, but with knowing. Abundance is a state of mind, not a condition of life. It starts with the recognition that everything you need already exists within you. When you understand this, the external world begins to shift. You stop chasing after what rejects you because you no longer feel the need to prove your worth. Instead, you align yourself with the truth of your being. And from this alignment, you naturally attract experiences and relationships that reflect your inner wholeness. The pursuit of something that resists you is a futile endeavor because it is based on a false premise. It assumes that the external world holds the power to complete you, when in fact it is your internal state that shapes your reality. When you believe in lack, you create lack. You vibrate at a frequency that repels abundance and draws in more experiences of rejection and scarcity. But when you shift your focus to abundance, when you recognize that you are already whole, you change your vibration. You begin to draw in experiences that resonate with your newfound sense of completeness. The feeling of lack often comes from comparing yourself to others. You see someone else living the life you desire, and you tell yourself that you must be deficient in some way because you do not have what they have. But comparison is a thief of joy, and it blinds you to your own unique gifts and path. Your journey is yours alone, and it unfolds in perfect timing. What is meant for you will never reject you. It will come to you effortlessly when you are ready to receive it. The key to breaking free from the illusion of lack is to turn inward. Instead of looking outside yourself for validation, focus on nurturing your inner world. Practice gratitude for what you already have. Affirm your worth daily. Visualize yourself as already abundant, not in a future where you have attained something, but in the present moment where you are already whole. This shift in perspective is powerful. It transforms your energy and aligns you with the flow of life. When you stop chasing what rejects you, you reclaim your power. You step out of the mindset of lack and into the reality of abundance. You no longer feel the need to grasp at what is not meant for you, and you no longer fear rejection because you understand that it is simply a redirection towards something better. You begin to trust in the wisdom of the universe, knowing that everything you need will come to you in its own time and way. The illusion of lack is just that, an illusion. It has no power over you unless you believe in it. When you let go of this belief, you free yourself to experience the abundance that has always been yours. You stop seeing rejection as a reflection of your worth and start seeing it as a sign that you are being guided towards something greater. So release the illusion. See yourself as you truly are, whole, complete, and enough. Abundance is not something you chase, it is something you embody. And as you step into this truth, you will find that the external world begins to mirror your inner state, bringing you blessings that are a natural extension of your newfound sense of completeness. What you truly desire must first be claimed within. This is the principle of inner alignment, a profound truth that your external reality is a direct reflection of your inner state. If you wish to experience being chosen, cherished, or abundant, you must first embody these qualities in your mind and spirit. Only when you align with the feeling of already having what you seek can it manifest effortlessly in your life. Most people approach their desires from a place of lack. They focus on the absence of what they want, unknowingly reinforcing its absence. They beg, plead, and strive, believing that external action alone will bring about their fulfillment. But the secret lies not in doing, but in being. It is the state of being chosen, loved, or prosperous within yourself that attracts the outer conditions to match it. Your imagination is the gateway to inner alignment. When you close your eyes and envision yourself as already having your desire, you step into the reality of it. You begin to feel the emotions associated with its fulfillment: joy, gratitude, love, or peace. These emotions are powerful because they carry the vibrational frequency of your desire. When you dwell in these feelings consistently, you align yourself with the frequency of what you seek, and the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. To embody the state of being chosen, you must shift your focus from external validation to internal affirmation. Begin by affirming your own worth. Tell yourself daily, I am enough. I am worthy of all the good things life has to offer. These words are not mere repetitions, they are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Over time, they grow into beliefs, and these beliefs shape your reality. Detaching from the outcome is another key aspect of inner alignment. When you are truly aligned with your desire, there is no desperation or clinging. You know that what is yours cannot miss you. This sense of trust and detachment creates a powerful magnetism. It communicates to the universe that you are not in a state of neediness, but in a state of abundance. And abundance attracts abundance. Imagine for a moment what it feels like to be chosen not by another person, but by life itself. Feel the confidence, the security, and the joy of knowing that you are seen, valued, and celebrated. Sit with this feeling until it becomes second nature. When you embody this state, you naturally exude an energy that draws others toward you. Opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your chosen state will begin to unfold without effort. The power of inner alignment lies in its simplicity. It requires no external struggle, no chasing after what feels out of reach. Instead, it asks you to turn inward and claim what you desire as already yours. This is not about pretending or fooling yourself, it is about recognizing the creative power within you and using it intentionally. When you embody the state of your desire, you are no longer waiting for it to appear. You are living as if it already exists, and in doing so, you make it real. Challenges may arise as you practice this, for the outer world may not immediately reflect your inner state. Doubts and fears may creep in, tempting you to revert to old patterns of thinking. But persistence is key. Hold firm to the vision of your fulfilled desire. Return to it daily, especially in moments of doubt. Remind yourself that the external world is a delayed reflection of your internal alignment. Trust in the process, and know that the seeds you plant within will inevitably bear fruit. Inner alignment is not just about manifesting specific desires, it is a way of being. It is the realization that your true power lies within, that you are the creator of your reality. When you embody the state of being chosen, loved, or abundant, you transcend the need for external validation. You become self-sufficient, grounded in the knowledge that everything you need flows naturally from your inner state. As you practice focusing on inner alignment, you will notice a shift not only in what you attract, but also in how you experience life. You will move through the world with a sense of ease and confidence, no longer chasing after things, but allowing them to come to you. This is the essence of effortless manifestation, the recognition that when you embody the state of your desire, the external world will always mirror it. What you claim internally becomes your reality, and what you desire flows to you as a natural extension of your being. The ego is the voice within that constantly seeks approval, recognition, and validation from the external world. It pleads for attention, cries out when it feels overlooked, and tirelessly compares itself to others in a futile attempt to measure its worth. The ego thrives on the fleeting satisfaction of external acknowledgement, but this satisfaction is always temporary, leaving a deeper sense of emptiness in its wake. To silence the ego's plea is to free yourself from this endless cycle and turn inward, where your true self resides, a self that is whole, complete, and untouched by the shifting opinions of the world. The ego's need for validation stems from fear and insecurity. It believes that its value is determined by how others perceive it. This belief drives it to seek constant reassurance, whether through praise, achievements, or relationships. But no amount of external validation can ever truly satisfy the ego, because its hunger is insatiable. The moment it achieves one goal or gains one form of approval, it immediately shifts to seeking the next. This endless striving creates a sense of lack, a belief that something is always missing. Your true self, however, knows no such lack. It exists in a state of completeness, needing nothing outside of itself to feel whole. It is the part of you that is connected to the infinite, unchanging source of being. Unlike the ego, the true self is not concerned with appearances, comparisons, or achievements. It does not seek validation because it recognizes its inherent worth. When you shift your focus inward to this true self, the ego's plea loses its power. The noise of its demands quiets, and a profound sense of peace takes its place. Silencing the ego's plea does not mean ignoring or suppressing it. The ego is a part of your human experience, and its voice will always be present to some degree. But you can learn to observe it without giving it control. When the ego cries out for validation, recognize it for what it is: a habitual pattern of thought that does not define you. Acknowledge its presence, but gently redirect your attention inward to the still, quiet place within where your true self dwells. This shift inward requires practice and self-awareness. Begin by noticing when the ego is at work. Perhaps it is when you feel a pang of jealousy, when you seek praise for something you have done, or when you feel hurt by criticism. In these moments, pause and ask yourself, who is seeking validation? Is it the true self, or is it the ego? By bringing this awareness to your thoughts and feelings, you begin to separate yourself from the ego's voice. Meditation and mindfulness are powerful tools for this practice. When you sit in stillness and observe your thoughts without judgment, you create space between yourself and the ego. You realize that you are not your thoughts or the emotions they stir, you are the awareness behind them. In this awareness, the ego's pleas become less urgent, less convincing. You begin to hear the deeper voice of your true self, a voice that is calm, steady, and unshaken by external circumstances. Turning inward also involves cultivating self-love and self-acceptance. The ego's need for external validation often arises because it does not feel worthy on its own. But when you nurture a sense of love and acceptance for yourself as you are, the ego's pleas diminish. You no longer need others to tell you that you are enough, because you know it within yourself. Affirmations, journaling, and acts of self-care can help reinforce this inner sense of worth. As you silence the ego's plea and align with your true self, you will notice a profound shift in your experience of life. The opinions of others lose their hold on you. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself or seek approval, because you are grounded in the truth of your being. Relationships become more authentic, free from the ego's demands for validation. Success becomes a natural expression of your inner alignment rather than a means to gain external recognition. Silencing the ego's plea is not about rejecting the external world, but about changing your relationship with it. When you no longer depend on others for validation, you can engage with the world from a place of wholeness. You are free to give and receive love, to create, and to pursue your passions not to fill a void, but to express the abundance within you. The true self needs no approval to feel complete, because it is already complete. When you shift your focus inward and connect with this truth, the ego's voice fades into the background. You discover a deep sense of peace and freedom, unshaken by the opinions of others or the changing circumstances of life. This is the power of silencing the ego's plea. It allows you to live from your true self, in alignment with the infinite and eternal essence of who you are. Walking away with grace is one of the most empowering acts you can undertake. It is not an admission of defeat, nor is it a reflection of weakness. Instead, it is a profound declaration of wisdom and self-respect. To release what does not choose you, whether it is a relationship, a job, or a dream that no longer aligns with your path, is to honor your worth and make room for what truly belongs to you. This act of letting go clears the clutter in your life and creates a sacred space for alignment with your highest good. There is a common misconception that holding on demonstrates strength. Society often glorifies persistence, urging us to try harder, fight for what we want, and never give up. But there is a fine line between perseverance and self-betrayal. Clinging to what resists or rejects you is not strength, it is a denial of your inherent value. True strength lies in the ability to recognize when something no longer serves your growth and to walk away with dignity, trusting that better things are ahead. Walking away with grace begins with self-awareness. It requires a deep understanding of your desires, values, and boundaries. When you find yourself in a situation where your worth is not acknowledged, your energy is drained, or your peace is compromised, it is a sign that it is time to let go. This recognition is not always easy. The ego resists, whispering fears of loss and scarcity. It tells you that walking away is giving up, that you may never find something better. But the soul knows otherwise. It knows that releasing what no longer serves you is an act of faith in the abundance of life. Releasing with grace means letting go without bitterness or resentment. It is easy to harbor anger toward those who do not choose you or the circumstances that do not unfold as you hoped. But holding on to negative emotions ties you to the very thing you wish to release. Walking away with grace involves forgiving, not necessarily to absolve the other party, but to free yourself. Forgiveness severs the energetic cords that keep you tethered to the past and allows you to move forward unencumbered. Detachment is a key element of walking away gracefully. Detachment does not mean indifference or apathy, it means releasing your emotional dependence on the outcome. When you detach, you acknowledge that your happiness and fulfillment do not depend on any specific person, situation, or result. You reclaim your power, recognizing that your worth is intrinsic and not contingent on external validation. Walking away with grace also requires trust in yourself, in the process, and in the higher intelligence that governs the universe. It is an act of surrender, a willingness to let go of control and allow life to unfold in its perfect timing. Trust that by releasing what is not meant for you, you are making space for what is. Trust that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, is always guiding you toward your highest good. As you walk away, you create a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. The space you clear by letting go becomes a fertile ground for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that are truly aligned with your soul. It may not happen immediately. There may be a period of waiting, a season of stillness. But in this stillness lies the opportunity for healing, reflection, and growth. It is a time to reconnect with yourself, to nurture your spirit, and to clarify your vision for the future. Walking away with grace is a practice of self-love. It is a way of telling yourself, I deserve better, and acting in alignment with that belief. It is a declaration that you will no longer settle for less than what honors your worth and uplifts your spirit. It is a commitment to prioritize your well-being and to choose yourself, even when others do not. Walking away with grace is not about the other person or the situation, it is about you. It is about reclaiming your power, honoring your journey, and aligning with your truth. It is an act of liberation that allows you to step into the fullness of who you are and to open yourself to the infinite possibilities that await you. Walking away is not the end, it is the beginning of a new chapter, one where you are free to receive all that is meant for you with open arms and an open heart. In the journey of life, learning to stop choosing what doesn't choose you is one of the most liberating and transformative lessons. It requires recognizing your worth, detaching from illusions of lack, silencing the ego's relentless cries for validation, and trusting that walking away with grace is an act of wisdom, not weakness. When you honor yourself in this way, you create space for true alignment, where what belongs to you naturally flows into your life without resistance. The act of letting go is not a loss, but a profound declaration of faith in your own completeness and the abundance of the universe. It is a testament to your trust in the unseen forces working for your highest good. By shifting inward, embodying the state of being chosen, and aligning with your true self, you step into a life filled with authenticity, purpose, and fulfillment. Thank you for allowing me to share these thoughts with you. May they inspire you to embrace your worth and walk confidently toward the life you deserve.